I've had people come to me lately and say, I want to stay around 300,000, but they're missing a huge opportunity because the sales price doesn't matter. Let me be clear. It matters if you're paying cash, but if you need to get a loan to buy this house, there are other priorities to consider. And if you don't already know, I'm Ian of Austin, your realtor from another mother. That doesn't even make any sense. There are HOAs, property taxes, interest rates, MUDs, and one or two different types of insurance that you might have to consider. And since most of it's bundled into your monthly payment, it's kind of hard to figure out what's what. So how do you know what the actual payment's going to be? And do you want to know the truth? Most people have no clue. They don't know. Or they see a sign on the side of a street or a street corner that says $800 a month mortgage payment, which is a true lie. And then your down payment, closing costs, and sometimes credit can all affect that as well. So let's go through them. Property taxes are probably the second largest monthly cost. Austin proper currently hovers above the 2% mark, and then the suburbs are generally from like 2.5 to 3%. So whatever you pay for the house, 3% of that is due every year. If it's a $500,000 house, you're paying approximately $15,000. And you can try to protest it and you have exemptions, but that's a whole other video. So every month, that's about $1,250 added to your payment. Homeowners associations are almost always part of a master planned community. So new construction homes, and they have these pools and you're salivating at like walking trails and parks that they have. There's an 80% chance that's in an HOA. Fortunately, Austin is nothing like California. It's not a knock on California. I'm actually from Chicago. I just have a lot of clients that are relocating from California or New York or other places, and so I know what some of their HOAs are like. Here, you can expect to pay around $50 a month, which I think is reasonable. Next is interest rates. So those are controlled by the Federal Reserve. All that means is you can't control it directly, but how much you put down and maybe your credit score will impact that. Lately, I've seen rates around 2.5%. So if it's another $1,000 a month, the good thing is, A, you can write it off on your taxes and maybe get a larger refund, and B, because it's interest, it's always going down. Then there's insurance. Your homeowner's insurance is going to be in there, and it's going to depend on the age of the home, the age of the roof of the home, and even who you go to for insurance. And so it's extremely variable. You might be in a flood zone, even in Austin. Certain places are higher risk, or you might have a lot of claim. So for easy numbers, I'm gonna say $100. And remember how I said there might be another type of insurance as well? Let's say you're in some kind of first-time homebuyer program. Well, they don't know you. So the bank or lender, they get out an insurance policy on your butt, and if you take off or you can't pay, they still get their money. After all, very few people are gonna give you hundreds of thousands of dollars to borrow without any kind of backup plan. You don't get to choose this policy, and it's also variable. It could be $100, it could be $300. But if you have like 25% saved and you can use that toward a home, then under most normal circumstances, you can cover all the fees and you won't have that monthly insurance either. And it works really well if you have a house to sell because you can use that equity to transfer over into the new home. Okay, so there are a few additional types of property tax that most people either don't know or if they're coming from a new state may not have experienced, especially if you're buying for the first time. Usually it's like an area improvement sort of tax. So here are some examples. Tesla's coming here with thousands of jobs. They're already building and it's in the middle of nowhere. You've got all these big companies that are putting their stuff over here and Tesla's like, I'm gonna be over here by myself. Problem with that is there's no public transportation or a very little public transportation. So as part of the deal, they're gonna build the area up, but Austin just voted to pay extra in your property tax to help cover the cost of their $7 billion project. Another example, Santa Rita Ranch, a beautiful 6,000 home master plan community. It's in Liberty Hill, just north of Georgetown and Leander. Well, there was nothing there either. So Ed, the developer, he brought in natural gas lines and some water lines and internet lines. Otherwise, in that community, you'd only have electric appliances, well water or septic, or probably the worst internet within 50 miles. So unless you're okay with cooking on an electric stove, you're willing to pay that MUD tax. But just like with your home loan, this could be a 20-year loan. And so as homes are built and people start paying their mortgages, this loan gets paid off. And because of that, it ends up going down over time. It's like the only tax that you pay less the longer you live there. It's usually not that much either. So if an area was at 3% property tax, this might bump it to 3.1. Here's the thing, we don't have state income tax, and we're one of only 13 states left in the United States that doesn't pay a sales tax for every real estate transaction. But people still like to protest their taxes because this is Texas. But lots of people want some sort of public police presence and good schools, so really it's a catch-22. You like having roads, don't you? Maybe that's why everybody buys trucks here? Oh, and after all that, then you have your mortgage payment, which comes from your loan price, not your sales price. So for a $500,000 home, your loan, if you have the right size down payment, is only about $1,100 a month, which, if you remember from earlier in the video, is a lot less than $2,400 a month that you're paying with everything else. So you might end up paying $3,500 a month for a $500,000 home, but it's probably gorgeous and twice the size that you'd get in most other places. And that's exactly why sales price doesn't matter, because as you see, other things matter more.